Next, approve the minutes of March 11th, 16th, and 20th.
Second.
All vote. Approve all the financials.
Motion approved.
All vote. Next, Martha Howard and Jones Library update.
Good evening. I hope you can understand me. I've been with this, I'm sure most people can relate. I want to thank you for your continued support of our libraries, and thank you, Ms. Sherry, especially for her assistance, getting us on the agenda and helping us through some insurance issues with our floor replacement at the library and the kitchen. We've also had a front door that needed a new lock, and she was helping in getting us that, taking care of that as well. So we're very appreciative of not only your financial support, but that kind of support as well. It's essential to what we do. We've had a number of programs since I last came to talk to you. We had living historians, the Hendrickses, visited us in September, and that was very popular. We hope to have them back, so if you missed it the first time, please come. We had a Teen Zombie program for Halloween, which you see pictures on your flyer. Obviously, they had a good time, and everybody left, hopefully still with their brains intact. We had a Christmas program. We do claws, crafts, and cocoa, so kids get a chance to see Santa Claus, do some Christmas crafts, and then have some hot chocolate. So that went really well as well. We did a Dr. Seuss birthday celebration in March. The kids made cat in the hat masks, and they were read to Dr. Seuss books as well. We also provide downloadable books. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we provided a workshop on how to do that for patrons who are interested. You can also set it up by appointment if it's easier for you to do one-on-one. These devices can be tricky when you're setting up a new app. So that seemed to go well. We hope to offer it again in the future. This Thursday, we're going to have a teen program featuring Maze Runner. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it was a teen book by James Dashner that they have turned into a movie, and we're going to show the movie and do some programs, some activities based on the book. Summer reading will begin in May, and we'll be delivering schedules to promote the program later this month in early May. And if it's all right with the county commissioners, I'll bring some schedules here just in case people ask. We also have the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. This program is designed to encourage literacy readiness so that when kids come to school in kindergarten, they have all the knowledge and skills they need to begin reading. The idea is that they would have either been read or read 1,000 books before they start kindergarten. And we have the reading logs and program information at the library, and we also hope to deliver it to area daycares to really target that age group. We are changing our hours during the summer just to take advantage of the lower cost and the peak hours if we can schedule it right. And we're going to be giving that announcement to the newspaper later this month so that everybody will be aware of it. It'll just be for the end of May through late July. I think that is it. I apologize again. I hope you can understand something I said. But I'm very grateful for all of your support, and thank you for having me back. Are there any questions or concerns for the library?
Okay, y'all have already cut back some, and you're going to cut back even more.
We're not cutting back. We're just changing hours so
Okay,
that we
just
can
changing
lower
hours.
our electricity bill.
Okay.
We need to be at 30 hours a week to be eligible for state funding. We're at 28 hours. So in the past, the state has been very lenient in enforcing that rule because of the economic downturn. But it does look like they're going to be tightening those standards. So we do need to really buckle down and see what we can do to get to 30 hours a week. That's one of our goals as a board for this coming year.
Anybody else got anything? We do appreciate you.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much.
Next on the agenda is Robert Goodwin request to use the old recreation ball field for a tent revival.
Is that one on the back?
He's here, I guess.
Okay,
They do it.
that's fine. I'm Robert Goodbread, my wife Lynette, we're with Goodbread Ministries. We're evangelists, and friends with Brother Coulter. He and I have been associated for a couple of years. We met down in Jacksonville at a church down there. Anyway, I approached him about the possibility of coming to Hazelhurst and doing a tent revival. And he showed us a spot there, the recreational park, where we're at the ballpark. And just would like to be able to do it in May. We would set up the tent around May 6th. The event was, the revival would start on the 9th, run through the 16th, and we would have the tent down by the 19th. And whatever things we would need to be in compliance with as far as providing, portable pump, restrooms, that type of thing, and insurance concern that some might have, we can provide that if needed.
That was one of the questions I had in mind, and don't know that, we have the date. We have let people have it before at the ballpark, and the only thing that we do ask is a copy of the insurance that you carry, and that you do to the restroom, or the portal. To come in.
If you have a minimum in mind as far as like, the minimum amount of liability.
And the only thing that we would, I think, need to do, Mr. Chairman, is make sure that there's no recreation during that period of time. After the 16th, even there was some recreation, long as between the 9th and the 16th, if there's some recreation going on the 6th, 7th, 8th, it wouldn't really matter. But during the 9th to the 16th, it would matter if they were ball games or whatever, a lot of cars hollering and everything else.
Right.
But besides that, we have let it before, and I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Now, I understand from talking with Brother Coulter was that specific ball field is actually used just for practice. They don't have the ball games there. He told me, I don't know. Sure.
Maybe I don't.
I'm not sure, they,
They do soccer.
They do soccer there, they do, the smaller football, but football
But they don't-
ain't in, that's now, so baseball, but then, the church leader, nobody, I don't know. So what we would need to do,
Let's check and make sure.
do we have a number that the office can get back with you? Do you
Yes,
have a
sir.
card or something, and give it to Mr. Gary or Miss Sherry there? We will check and find out, and then if there's not anything going on there, I have no problem with it.
No problem whatsoever.
So how would we do it, Carl, just call and vote on
And
it?
then, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
the proof of
Provide that.
I make a motion that if we don't have anything, or if we do have something, and we can work around it, that we do that, and then pending that, he knows that he's got to have the insurance and $1 million and get us a copy of it, and that he has to furnish the porta johns. And I make the motion that we do it if everything else works out.
I second.
all vote.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, Kevin Norton, or Kroger, to discuss dog homes. He's not here.
He called me on the telephone, now, that's what it was, they having some problems out there in his community. The dogs just running loose, and I told him we just try to discuss it, and see if we can work anything else.
It's out in the county.
It's out in town.
Only Orange County got the issue, though.
It's just,
I mean, they have to take care of that.
we got this, I got the same problem out in my district.
But it is a problem, you know, what you do.
We had one that was drafted a couple of years ago, and it was tabled on the farm board, so we had to pull up our husband and look at the copies after it were,
If we,
it was
We need to
shared
come up
with
with
everybody.
something.
then you have to open up the animal shelter.
That's right.
And,
You got to furnish a bed.
you gotta burn the bed, and then you give it so many days, hire somebody to feed, everything else, but, we will. The best thing, have Ms. Sherry, give everybody a copy of it.
Unless you look over.
Look over the table this time and that question. Favor?
Call vote. Next, we approve crime victims proclamation. All of them, some of you done signed it, some of you need to sign it. I need a motion. Need a second? All vote. Next, discuss Brown project and stop signs at Beasley Forest project. Anybody want to talk about that?
Well, between Beasley and the new warehouse, those forklifts are going across the road, and there are going to be more and more of them, and they are fearful of somebody crashing into one of those. So they said they talked last year about asking, requesting a stop sign to be put there.
Right where they cross the road at?
Yeah. They're crossing the road to, of course, the warehouse to the plant. These are those huge forklifts.
They're gonna need one on each side, and probably before you get to it. We have to get with
It's on county road.
we just need to get with them to find out the distance they need to be.
I mean, we talked one time about slowing it down and put some speed limits on it, but now, as far as I know, I've never been asked or talked in a meeting that we was gonna put stop signs up, but then people might want to start putting them, if they go across the road from their farm, their cow lot over to the house and everything, I mean, that's a county road, always been a county road. And we were asked, was we taking, slowing down.
We put some speed limit signs there.
Yeah, but that's
50 mile
what,
an hour, 40.
do you remember, were you in on this one?
I was, and we were discussing about the one thing, I remember having to, about concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across the road.
Yeah, across the road.
Like a speed.
Paper, until.
What the, tear the sign.
But I don't recall that, I don't recall that, we could be discussion on that after stop sign.
Well, we could get,
And I do know y'all
reduce
discussed-
the speed of the sign and get, just like they use cattle crossing signs, just give you equipment crossing.
Yeah, but who actually gonna follow this?
Well, if you got the signs up, that just clears us from it. If they,
We got the sign
if they
there,
hit somebody,
then they
that's
have
on me.
an accident, we're not responsible.
They gonna cross there at night and everything else?
I would think so.
I think we need to sit down,
Need to talk about it.
we need to have, next prayer meeting, we need to sit down and talk, have them to show up. Because the meeting that I was in, they wanted to take, like Ms. Carter said, they asked about taking, we just had paved the road when they, about 2 months later, I think it was, it burned. Then they decided they was gonna move out there, and then there's gonna be a lot of trucks running on it. We've got DOT down, they started making like a little changing it up after you out on the highway where the truck comes out on the road. There's been 2 or 3 studies done, and nobody has got back to say, this is what we think is best, or this is what needs to be done. Because we even talked about who was going to pay it if it got done. And, we hadn't changed anything in the county. They have changed it, by moving there. And so they talked about putting concrete where they come out to it and where it would be breaking off and
Right,
everything.
well, I mean, I see this as a separate issue, they're just mainly concerned about safety. That's what it's really about.
He was supposed to be here, but he, all that class and
Well, I make a motion, we just table it, but if Ilya comes, he's representing the development authority. We need somebody that's with Beasley that has some authority to tell us what that's in their plans. We've always had this problem as a county commissioner, and Mr. Chairman, Gary, where, like, they built a school, and then all of a sudden, we never was in a meeting and never got to know anything about it, but then we want a new road. Well, then the road's at the expense of the county. And when a project like this is going on, everybody ought to be involved and know what's going to happen, because we know that the traffic is going to be a lot heavier than everything else, so we do need development authority and some contact with Beasley to come and sit down.
Well, yeah,
You don't
be here.
You don't think that we need to go ahead and put some at least, speed limits out there or slow down sign or something? Just for safety?
I would think so.
And the problem is, so like, it's one of
That's
the,
right.
and
It's too late.
we know about it, and he thinks it's a potential hazard, so.
I would think so too.
So we need signs there and put some heavy equipment signs across, give them everyone. Because if they go through there and hit one of them, and then speed limit's 50 mile an hour on that road, and they say, well, we wasn't speeding, we were running 50 mile an hour, it's gonna come back. Probably on that. I mean, we got stop
We put it to
signs.
35. I don't see how it's gonna come back on us, but we don't own the vehicle that's going down the road, or we don't own what's crossing the road.
But we can give them the okay to cross that road. That puts it on us.
When do we do that?
When we told them they could concrete, same thing as telling them they can cross. Signs are a lot cheaper than somebody getting killed.
Light, you can't put lights on it. That's the problem with that.
And we have signs. Just need to get the measurement, what's wrong.
So Carl, you're saying it'll take DOT to okay stop
No,
sign?
not really take the stop sign.
I don't know about the stop sign, but
But you can change the speed.
I would definitely put some speed limits on there, heavy equipment crossing caution. I would put something there. I'll make a motion to do that. Yeah. What's the speed limit on that, 55? 50, 55?
Anything on paper is 55, dirt road is 45 to 50, 50 down.
Anything on a road that's not got a speed limit sign that's 55 mile an hour, what the sheriff said,
Even a dirt road,
even dirt road. I just interrupted y'all, but I just tossed it out.
So we got a motion to put up a,
Well, but we look at the sign,
what
what,
number?
what number?
we're gonna have to get with the road department and stuff. They know
We
that
have people to move properly, or
county, DOT, and just like any of the rest of our stop signs, there's a footage, that the stop signs
We
that
don't-
people
we-
before you
We're
get.
not
Or
doing something.
speed limit
Speed limit
sign.
sign.
Yeah. We just need it far enough back that it'll slow down, and some of them ain't gonna slow down. It's just for our.
They gonna stop for that stop sign 9 times out of 10, that speed limit sign it ain't gonna even be there. Right?
But it'll protect us. Martin?
Yeah, I'm with protecting us, but I'm with saving the lives too. I just believe.
Well, we put them out on where that
Stop.
road is so messed up on Bridgeport, we put 35 mile an hour sign there, so I think that's all we had. And if we put them signs between there and the railroad track, and between the crossroads and there, they'll have plenty of time to stop running 35 miles. Or ever what we got over.
What speed limit you gonna put it at? Or you gonna just take it or what? I can't draw my.
I don't know, we got, I mean, if we wanna go ahead and put them, or, you know, majority of the board does, fine. We need to sit down and talk with them. I mean, I know we got a lot of rain last Sunday afternoon, but it come over the road about that big. They built it and supposed to have retention ponds, and they was real small, I got a call when I went. So, I mean, we got a lot of things that we need to sit down and talk with them about.
Do speed limit signs and warning signs and leave it at that, and when you make the turn, they'll put some of what direction on the door. Which I can go ahead and put two places. And then somebody didn't do this.
Then we might want you to change it to stop, you don't know. We need to do something, I think.
I mean, that's a lot to just, if we put stop signs there, we're gonna start having more
Well,
people
that's
want
what,
stop
I ain't
signs.
saying
put
stop
all-
sign, but,
Yeah.
you know, at least slower.
Well, it didn't say, it just says to talk about it. But if we put the slower signs and equipment crossing,
If you put-
they may be satisfied with that, and then we can get with them and meet with them about the other stuff. So I need a motion,
I'll make a motion.
need a second, all vote.
It is, we're gonna put heavy equipment across the road, slow down or warning right now, is that what, is that the motion?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna clarify what it was that we were going to do.
Next is to approve or deny closing a portion of Carter Nobles Circle Road. This is the part that William Brothers Trucking owns both parts. We had a hearing at 5:30, nobody showed up. So I need a motion.
Make a motion to close it.
I need a second. All vote. Approval of two work detail agreement between Departments of Correction, Jeff Davis County, and for Towns Flood. So we got that in the package, it's reviewing what we already got.
I read over both of them, and one of them 19,000 something, and that's one that we pay for, and then the other one is no charge. Main thing, the other one, I think one thing that we haven't been getting, and we're gonna need to address it with them, they said we're supposed to get 9 workers, sometimes we get 5 or 6, but, I make the motion. And then we do not get anybody, if it's vegetable time or whatever, the free one, only if they got the help, that it comes and does town bluff and stuff, that, but we don't pay for it because it's state property. And so I make the motion that we need to pass one at a time, or we pass both of them, or we were gonna pay for one,
They're
two.
the same thing they say, they pay for the
Yeah.
same.
But the same thing, except one of them is a charge and the other one's not. So I make a motion that we keep on doing what we've been doing.
All vote. Next is approve of E&Rs, Robert and Vanessa Rowland, Donald Pollard, Randy Denton Ham, Paul Taylor, Angelina Bohannon, Archie Miller and Archie and Natalie Miller. I met with Kathy and she went over these with me. On one, the house was in the wrong place. Brother Dave's here, he's over there, he can work over there, he can explain it a lot better than I can.
Y'all have any questions on any of that?
If you would just start with the first one, because they'll have to vote for each of them.
All right.
The other one.
Roland's property. The house was on the wrong parcel. Bill should have been for the land only. That one was pretty straightforward. The other one, the house value changed.
On the road, it's, we did the trailer and the land together. And then, so now this is just the land and then they buy a sticker for the trailer.
The Roland property is a house primarily. It should not have been on that bill. This one was the, hang on. The house was on the wrong piece of land, that's all that there is on that one. It should have been, it is on another property, it is taxed separately, it was just listed on this, and it was found and corrected.
We need a motion to accept it, as it's been corrected. Need a second? All vote. Next is Donald Sawyer.
Yeah. The house burned and therefore the value was changed. They're not going to replace it, so the value of it was removed.
Second. All vote. Nobody opposed. Randy and Levy Ham.
Mobile home was repoed in 14. Was moved to Loudoun County and the taxes have been paid there. And you all should have received the receipt in your packet.
All vote. Carl Taylor.
This one is probably the most difficult of all. This one was referred to us from the tax collector's office. This gentleman purchased the property. There's a bunch of metal on it, old machinery and what have you. He says has no value. These tax bills go back 3 years. This is the first time it came to the Board of Assessors. We simply forwarded it to you for you to do with as you choose. He wants a credit and he wants the last 3 years' taxes written off. But he says that the items that are on the property have no value. That's entirely your call. It will be going back and issuing a credit for the last 3 years.
Yeah, the pictures are in here.
Belongs to Little Company.
What you have to do there, like 2007, 8, 9, that it shows, and if they delinquent taxes on this equipment, then y'all value them till somebody comes and appeals. So then it goes over to Ms. Susie's office. And so when it
She
goes,
sent them back to us.
but why would she send them back to y'all? Because, I mean, it's a tax bill.
Can't answer that.
Okay, well, I shouldn't ask you that, but, I mean, I reckon what I'm saying is, if it's a tax bill, then y'all have did what y'all were supposed to do.
That's correct.
Appraise the property, and y'all appraise and she collects.
That's correct.
And so then once it goes to her office, then she's to collect the taxes, or either turn around and sell them. And so, they may not be worth nothing, but just to remove these, to do an error release, I don't see where error's been made.
We're not asking for an error release. We're simply forwarding it to you because you're the only board that can go in and say, we'll forgive this number. We can't do that. We've done what we need to do. The only group that can say, we're going to dispense with this, write it off, whatever, is you guys.
Well, the main thing that me as one board member, that if this is a property that's not being, it's like the sheriff's department, when they seize a car or whatever, and they have it over there, and then they wait the days, and then when they get, you stay so many days, then you sell it for $200 or whatever. So this is stuff here that should have been on tax sale.
Correct.
And, but just to turn around and release $3,806.69 and leave it where it's at, I'm not in favor of doing that. And so, I mean, I don't know what the rest of them would do, but I mean, we should have had pictures of it and she should have auctioned it all. That's what I'm talking about. She could bring it up at the courthouse, but they don't have to be here because the houses ain't here, whatever, you get to go look at it. And then you sell it, if it don't bring for $50 or $5, then we lawfully have done what the law says we have to do and not got no problem. If we turn around and try to auction it off and it don't bring anything, but it really, that Carl saying that it ain't his and he don't want it, then she should auction it off. And she could have got to be it for $5 or $50 or $100 for scrap iron, then we got a piece of paper showing us that we can release it. But just to turn around and say that we're gonna take 38, 06, 69 off, really lawful, we can't do that. So if you ask me what I said all the time is that, and you put it in a nutshell, is that this property, I say that we table it and get back to the tax commissioner, and she needs to, when she has her next sale, sell this property, and then bring us that bill, and then we.
It ain't the property, he bought.
Well, no, I say,
the
well,
junk's on it.
He's talking about
the junk that's on it, but I mean, that's, personal property. It is property, but it's personal, it's not the land. And, so, it's not the real estate or the land on it, so, but I mean, that way, we got something to say that why we let $3,806.69. I mean, this 2007, 8, 9, so since 9, where's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? I mean, it just, all of a sudden, who
When did he
decided?
buy the property?
He bought the property 2 years ago, I think it is.
Probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, where, and Miss Susie's not here, I looked out earlier a while ago, but who decided in 2009 we no longer gonna build? It's still there.
If it's there, we have to assess it.
Yes.
Right.
We can't forgive it. So you're the only ones that have that right.
I mean, I can see Carl's part. I mean, if I bought land and they jumped on it, belonged to somebody else, I'll leave it there for a few years, give them a chance to get it, and all of a sudden I get billed for it, I'd be wanting to take off too. If I could get tax money for every piece of junk out there on my property that's been there for the last 15 years, I'd be glad to get it. It just don't work that way.
So, maybe you can explain to them, you said you talked with them, there was 2007, 8, and 9, and it says here, that it's, care of Jim Lott. I don't even know who Jim Lott is.
Jim Lott, the
He's the one that owned the
paid
property
tax.
originally.
Okay, then he should have been paying the taxes, but then what happened to 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14?
Whoever
I mean,
who
if
owns
it's
it.
still there, then they still the value on it. And as he said, the tax assessor's office has to value
That's
it.
right.
And if they value it, who decided after 2009 there'd be no more taxes on it? And without it coming to us, that's the point that I'm trying to make, and it should have, and we could have done something with it.
He needs to be done something.
Well, either he needs to pay the taxes, or either we need it in 2009 or 10, when we have a sale, we should have sold it, we didn't get $5 or whatever, and then legally, we can take and reduce it. But I mean, I can't vote just because, sir. It looks like, it's probably one of those coolers, that first thing there, like air conditioning, you cool them rooms when you put vegetables in. I mean, that's what I guess that is, because it looks like the louver and stuff.
He said the owners of that property before him would buy old equipment like that and refurbish it and sell it. So this was just some leftover.
He really didn't know what any of it was.
Yeah, exactly.
He just wanted relief. We can't grant relief, so.
y'all, 3 passed. But I mean, we need to find out who decided to quit even doing it. And then, why did we not, the county seize it and, sell it?
One, we just table it, and two, we talk, and we find out something.
Really got to talk to Susan.
Well, we can talk both of them.
We need a motion to that.
I make a motion to table.
I'll say.
All vote. Next, Andrew, Lee Bowman.
The next one is, the trailer was being built separately and the land was, it was homesteaded and it was being built also on the land. Apparently,
Double tax.
yes, apparently the taxes were paid and nobody bothered to appeal any of it. It was picked up on, they came back and said, you know, they'd like to do it. Being that it's double taxed, yes, we can go ahead and release that for the duplicate years. And that's what we have recommended.
Need a motion? Second. All vote.
Archie Miller. This one was corrected in 2014. It was a small cabin that was on 1,000 acres. Mr. Miller bought 2 acres. The cabin was determined at some point to have been on that 2 acres. He since moved the cabin to his home. It was never on that 2 acres, but he moved the cabin over to his home where it's assessed and paid for there. He is looking for relief from that. It's, you know, both of them, the cabin is already being taxed. It was added to the parcel. There's precedent and law that allows the action to go ahead and release it from the 2-acre property since it's already on his home.
So it was never owned, but you
It was never on the 2.5 acre piece of property.
He owns the 2.5 acres. He purchased it. The cabin was physically never on the 2 acres of property. It was somewhere else on the main tract, but he bought the cabin also. So when he bought the cabin, the assumption, I guess, was made that it was on that 2 acres. It wasn't. He moved the cabin from its original location to his home location and put it there as part of his home. And I think you all got part of the precedent for it.
Okay,
All right.
so,
Go ahead.
so the cabin was on the 1,000 something, the big
Yes.
part.
It was in the middle, it was in the middle of 1,000 acres back in the
Okay, all right.
woods there. And Terry cleaned up.
What year was that? When Terry, who paid, did Terry pay for the cabin on the year that it was on the 1,000 something acres?
No, he purchased the 2 acres and the cabin. It then reverted to him. I don't know who owned the original 1,000 acres.
All right, when did he buy the cabin? What year, you know, Terry?
I think 2014.
I think it was 14, either late 13 or 14.
What happened is, he bought the 2.5 acres of land because they was going, somebody else was gonna buy the cabin and move it to the 2.5 acre, and it was right across the road from him, joining his property. And he just bought the 2.5 acres. Then Tony said, well, I had the cabin sold, you're gonna either have to buy the cabin and the 2.5 acres, or you're not getting the 2.5 acres. So Archie wound up buying the cabin, moving it straight across that, cleared that land to his house and attached it to his home. The 2.5 acres never had a septic tank or never had the cabin on it. They just got this stake there. They thought he bought it off the 2.5 acres, but it was never on the 2.5 acres.
Yeah, what, was it ever, when it was on 1,000 acres, was it ever on the books, the tax assessor books?
Don't know because we did not examine the 1,000 acres.
I'm sure it did, because they lived in our state, and somebody lived in it, because I went in there politicking back when I was under fire.
Okay, so, but my question is, did the person that owned the 1,000 acres, did they pay taxes on it that year?
I'm sure that they did.
I'm sure they did, or they wouldn't have cut it
Or
sold.
they wouldn't have known that that the cabin was part of the sale.
They didn't, on that 1,000, they thought it was on 2.5.
Well, that got mixed up when he bought both of them at the same time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tony would not sell, Tony Davis
Yeah.
would not sell the 2.5 acres to him because he had a man who was gonna buy the 2.5 acres and move the cabin out in the middle of that place and clean it up to that 2.5 acres. In order for Archie to buy the 2.5 acres, he had to take the 2.5 acres plus the cabin, or the house, it was a house really what it was. And he moved it to, and joined it on his house.
Did he
Same
pay
time.
taxes on it now?
Yes.
Yeah, he's paying tax on that, but what I'm saying is, who paid taxes on it for the year?
Whoever owned it, probably that's fine.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was mixed up, and they said it's on the wrong property, that either Tony Davis or either whoever bought the land and the house was there would have to pay the taxes on it where he could
Tony
get it
Davis
clear.
owned it, but, and he's the one that sold it to Archie,
Okay.
I'm about 100% sure.
Well, what we wanna do is clear it.
It's about $140.
What we want to do is take the cabin off the 2.5 acres. It's already on his home being taxed.
Well, we need a motion to do that.
I like the motion.
I need a second. All vote. Wayne opposed.
Thank you, sir.
Tony paid taxes on it, Archie don't know what Tony did.
Next, Minister Gary Paul, let's read it.
Just want to mention that we're going to upgrade our accounting software. It's no charge to us because we're on a maintenance plan with them. And we're not going to continue to support the version we have past the end of the year, so we're going to do that. And at the same time, we have to update our chart of accounts to be consistent with state law. So we're going to do all that in July, August.
Just information purposes.
We got, this year, can I ask for something, they beat the water system, and I had told Kevin Taylor, did you, is it on the new, it's not on mine?
It's on the new agenda.
Okay, I don't, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, it was.
But now we ready for you?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't, okay. All right, I just know they was in August, and I didn't want them to be drove and come all the way here. Because I told Kevin Taylor to call and tell me Sherry. So that's fine. That's good.
We ready for him?
Yes.
Oh, John, forgot.
I did too.
I'm John Baker with Southern Water Systems. We're located in Clapson, Georgia. This is my wife, Michelle. We're here tonight to discuss what it requires, what's required, what the requirements are in Jeff Davis County to extend the water line. We own the Lake Alhoe water system. I'm sure you all know where that's at. We operate systems in 6 counties, and every county is different about what's required whenever we do line work. So that's what we're here tonight, is to find out what we need to do. And I'm sure y'all probably got a lot of questions for us.
What's y'all got to do, one line across the road?
Yes, sir. I've got and I apologize for the graphics, but if y'all can send this around, we've got existing lines that are on the opposite side of the dirt road, and you'll see it when you get that graphic. We just want to cut a 2-inch line across the road, sleeve it in a 6-inch case. No joints inside of the section of pipe, and then run that 2-inch down paved road on the side of the shoulder of the road. There's 10 acres that's for sale. And
They've purchased 1 acre,
Yeah,
so
there's
the other
one-
9 are available.
one lot is already sold, and they've already broken ground on the home. So we're trying to get this lady to work as quickly as we can. And we're trying to do it as cheap as possible for her. There's obviously different requirements in different counties, but we want to, you could spend $5,000 doing this. So, depending on what you all require, that makes a decision about how much it costs this lady to put the water
the county requires is that if you take and cut across a dirt road or a highway, that you have to take and hire somebody that's licensed, bonded, and insured. That way, that, what we really require is, if you put a 2-inch line, you put a 4-inch, but if you put a 6, that's just
Yes.
extra insurance. And all, that where if it busts or the road gives way and it pulls apart, it works glued together, or whatever, that way it comes back out and gets in the ditches. And, getting it done right is not too much of a problem, but then if whoever does it, if they're not licensed and insured and bonded, then if it tears up, 5 years from now and washes out the road and somebody comes and runs into it, then the county's liable for their vehicle and if they get killed or hurt or whatever. And so that's why that we had looked around and seen other counties and asked them what they did, and that's what that they required.
Okay. There was, I had heard mention of boring the road, and we were hoping that we could trench instead of bore. Is that a possibility? Because you're talking about a lot of money to bore it. It's a dirt road. I've never had to bore a dirt road, so is that something that we can work with possibly? Because this homeowner's gonna pay thousands of dollars to do this, if we have to go that route. And we hope eventually to have 9 more homes out there. So,
And we,
You're talking about hiring someone to trench it?
right,
that's
just a,
licensed,
you know, just a utility trench across the
Yes,
road,
yes.
you
But
know,
what,
in my
the three
estimate-
things that I'm interested in, licensed, bonded, and
Sure.
insured.
so there's no issue then with the trenching part.
And what would, well, and, you know, like the gentleman there that asked us, we told him we had to have his insurance, would be, you know, do you know how much liability insurance that the company has that was going to do it,
The contractor.
the contractor?
we don't, we haven't
Alright, you have-
chosen a
you got it.
person in this area. The utilities company that we use to do this kind of work is actually in Lawrence County. So we haven't even contracted with anyone. We're new to this county. We've been here since, what, September? So we're still trying to learn who's what around here. So we have our own commercial liability, but we'll have to find someone in this area that would be doing the work that would have the insurance that you're requiring.
I mean, and like you said, you got your liability, and it would cover a line if y'all decide the road busted or whatever, because you have your liability.
Yes,
on
our
it, but
liability
then
covers all of our water
all
systems,
the
all of
water
our
system
lines,
lines where
connections,
they at.
everything.
But then where he puts this one, and I know that, I've got a bunch of calls about it, and I think I've talked to you.
Yeah.
And I know the ladies got to move out of her house and, you know, and everything was nailed. But, I reckon, do we, in our policy, Counselor, do we have how much liability that we asking?
I don't do that. What they need to do is find whoever you're gonna use and get all the information from that person as far as their insurance, their bonding company, the license. We're gonna have to have copies of all that before they can even sign off without even start on.
And, okay, what,
Trenching across the road is no problem on some dirt road.
Yeah, it
on
is.
highway.
not highway, and then the highway, you have to bore.
Right, we're not gonna
Yeah.
get anywhere near the
Yeah.
main road.
But
Understandable.
can I, I've asked Kevin and you, who did that now? I'm sorry. I've been out there 7, 8 times, and,
And do you see the reason?
Yes,
and the
yes,
graphics are
yes.
horrible, but the reason that we want to do it in this manner
Uh-huh.
is because, you know, hopefully, we're.
So other people at home,
If
yeah.
they start putting more lots in,
Yeah.
all we're gonna have to do is come off of our 2-inch here with 3/4 service connection.
And that is the reason why we're gonna go ahead and not
Right.
just run a service connection, but run another main line. And
Okay.
then that way we won't have to do this again. If the other lots sell, we can just run service to each of
see,
those.
Kevin lives over here.
Correct.
And this house here has water that's right here. And if they come and trenched and put it down here, I believe it's gonna be cheaper on y'all or whoever's paying this. Tommy, what was Anna's address over there, do you remember? I can't think of the name of the road either, but I mean,
Quail Run Road maybe?
I know Quail's there and Turner's there, and the circle, okay, Quail Circle, okay. If that, there's a meter there, and I've asked Shane, I've asked, Kevin,
You said in Shane Waters.
Shane Waters, yes, sir, and Kevin Taylor, and here, I stepped it off, and I did not measure it,
Right.
but I don't think that you're looking over 400 and something foot,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I wouldn't worry that option.
And that, and if you come there, and I mean, you know, you could take a walk behind trench
Sure.
and trench it, it ain't like you gotta get a bulldozer. I think it would be y'all's cheapest way, and then you could come down here and down here, and back up here. I'm not trying to change your mind.
No, I'm interested in that, I'm just concerned about landowners and easements.
I think everything here is in that 10 acres or 11 acres, ain't it?
And our thing is usually to stay in the right of way, because, you know, when you start crossing land and then another person buys one and wants to build, and then they're gonna build a house on their water line, you know, it can
That's-
get
Well,
confusing, so that's why we didn't.
Yeah, get the arrow mount, I believe out there, or the landline, and I think it gets a little further over. I came down this, that's just it looks like a road, but it's not, it's just where some golf carts and stuff's been, and I think the property line of this total thing is a little further back and could come down, and because there's water right here, but if you bore it under that highway, that's very expensive, and also, I would, two things, if I was y'all, I would look at that, that's just my opinion, and nobody would be at any, no insurance, no bonding, no license.
Right.
Even somebody come through there and cut a little trench, and then you brought the water line down, I mean, there's water lines, and y'all already realize there's someone built a road there
Right.
and everything, so, this here, if you brought it here, then all they gotta do is tee in and go here, and then you come here and back here or whatever, and you'll have everybody covered there.
Okay.
And that might be, something to look at,
I'm glad you pointed that out. We
Yeah.
can consider that.
okay, and it would be the cheapest way for y'all, and you wouldn't have to cross the road nowhere.
Okay.
And then if you decide not to, if you'll get this other information back and send it in to our clerk, and she gets in touch with Ms. Harlan, and we, look at it and see what they license and bond and everything.
Okay.
We won't hold it up, even if we have to talk amongst ourselves, and the lawyer will call each one and tell us that it's okay, and they bonded, they licensed, and they insured, then we can do it, you know, within a day, after you get us the information.
Shane could do what you're recommending.
Yes, sir.
So
And
that
I
would
had
be-
told Shane.
Yeah,
I
that
had-
would be the quickest way, because, I mean, they're ready to.
Yes,
pour
I mean,
foundations,
well,
so we
they,
don't make this
she
happen.
was, she was down in Florida on vacation when me and you was talking and all, and,
Right.
I had been out of town and got back, but anyway, and I had mentioned to Shane, and, they could rent a walk behind and never have to push a tree or do anything
Okay.
and carry it across there.
Okay.
But if not, and that's not option, but it still would be better to go up there and carry it across there than even up there where you're talking about. I had went and looked and seen if we could even cut through the surge pipe at the bottom there, and even around over on the other side. But those two options there would be the best option, I think, and the
I
cheapest.
like yours. So we'll get our information together, talk to Shane, and then I guess if we decide to go Plan B, do we still need to just?
I'll tell you, just dial, my name's Wayne Hall, you still have my number, or?
Kevin get
Okay,
it.
912,
We, I was about to say, we've got.
253.
Hang on just a second. 253?
5362. See what you're gonna do, and you call me, and we'll go from
Okay,
there.
we'll keep you posted. Thank you for the time.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Another good, go.
Yes, sir.
Next, go into executive session, discuss personnel litigation and real estate.
Sir.
Go into executive session.
Motion, go back in regular session.
Second. All vote. We discuss door across the hall, been working there, she's going to school. Heather, married. Now, I know her name. Her board has asked for her $10 an hour. I need a motion, pay her $10 an hour. Need a second? All vote. One opposed. Next, public comments. Anybody got any public comments? If not,